Since 1993, the Whitley Fund for Nature has supported grassroots conservation leaders.
Winning the Whitley Award is a tremendous honor.
Our land will recover.
This is a night of good news.
Over £23 million have been invested across 80 countries to save species on the brink of extinction. The impact is global. We continue this year with 6 new winners and one past winner who will receive the prestigious Whitley Gold Award. We come together to celebrate and support these leaders on our continuing journey, started all those years ago, to transform global ambition into grassroots action.
Your Royal Highness, Lords, Ladies and Gentlemen, please welcome your hosts for the evening, Kate Humble and Tom Heap.
I love it here. I love this night. Welcome, everybody, to the 2025 Whitley Awards. I was just talking to one of the Whitley trustees and a former Whitley winner, Dino Martins, and he said that in a world that feels like it lacks authenticity and scientific rigour, and most importantly, good news, this is an oasis. You have come to a place that will celebrate all those things this evening, and you are going to meet some people who will lift your hearts and give you great hope for the year and the future ahead. I am thrilled as ever to be sharing this stage with my wonderful co-host and co-ambassador, Tom Heap.
Well, thank you very much, Kate. Beginning to feel uncomfortable double act this. I think we should have some rehearsed repartee, but it is great to be back, and I echo all the things that Kate has said, with perhaps a little bit of edge as well. We seem to be at a time when conservation in some quarters is being seen as a bit of a luxury, that caring for nature should always come secondary to GDP growth and things like that. Clearly nonsense. We thrive, nature thrives together, or the opposite happens to both of us. But it's definitely a time when nature needs its champions, and by golly, we do have some prize fighters in the room tonight who you're going to hear from. They really are punching above anybody's weight when it comes to nature. Well, to kick things off for the evening, I'd like to invite our very own heavyweight up to the stage, founder of the Whitley Fund for Nature, Edward Whitley.
Well, thank you, Tom. I like that idea of being a heavyweight, but Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're joining online or here in this wonderful room, you are so welcome. Kate and Tom, thank you so much for hosting this evening. You've been amazing this year. You've also narrated the films, and this is for the first time, and you narrate them with such authority and wonderful empathy. So thank you for that. And I gather, I missed the music beginning, but I gather Stuart Copeland and Martin Stewart have provided the Wild Concerto. And so this is our theme music for tonight. I'm amazed that anyone actually wanted to sit down at all. Now, since we met last year, our winners report to us many things, and what they say most of all is their work is more important than ever, that our funding, being long-term, consistent, is more valuable than ever. And we've always focused on what our winners can actually do, what they can achieve in their communities and their regions. And in this respect, we're so inspired that whatever the problems and challenges they face, they rise above them, whether it's the current government cutbacks, whether it's the impact of climate change on their landscapes. They maintain their amazing dedication and their sense of purpose. Now, over the years, we've also worked with our winners as they pass the responsibility to the next generation. So it was thrilling to hear this reaction from Fernanda Arbra, one of our younger winners from Brazil last year. Now, after winning her award, Fernanda went to meet Marina Silva, Brazil's environment minister and her lifelong heroine. And Fernanda wrote to us, "Last year was simply the best year of my life. My work's been featured in dozens of national and international news outlets. It's been incredibly rewarding to witness this growing momentum. When science, communication and collaboration come together, I believe that we can create a better future for both people and wildlife." Now, the conservation work's not just in the landscape. In Argentina, our winner, Pablo Borboroglu, who won the Gold Award in 2018, was the key witness in the prosecution of a rancher who destroyed a part of a penguin colony. Now, the court case took 3 years to come to trial, and the rancher was eventually found guilty of ecocide in the first such ruling in Argentina. As a result of this court case, happily, the biosphere has been strengthened, and the biosphere itself has been increased by an extra 1,000 hectares. But of course, these achievements don't come cost-free. Last week, Poppy sent me this message. He wrote, "Edward, big hug, and thank you so much for mentioning the case. It was the most difficult process of my career. It reads easy, but we were under constant attack. Fortunately, we had the evidence to prove the truth. And as I like to say," now Poppy sent me this image, "sometimes I think that God is really a penguin." So only Poppy can get away with that. Now, across in Sri Lanka, one of our winners, Anjali Watson, has successfully organised an 18-kilometre corridor between two nature reserves to connect wildlife. And last year, her camera traps recorded 19 different leopards using this corridor. And so we're so proud of our winners who fearlessly go into to fight their causes, often entering territory which is very foreign to them, such as law courts. And it's a long way removed from their natural habitat and their initial love of wildlife. Our wonderful ambassador, David Attenborough, now closing in on his 99th birthday next week, said, "Saving our planet is now a communications challenge. We know what to do. We just need the will." So thank you so much to Sir David. Once again this year, each of our winners has picked him out as their single most important inspiration. And in this... He's just so magical. We are so lucky to have him. In this context, our winners need to communicate their message with care. Now, especially in a world where communication can become so distorted. Sometimes the impact of this can be unexpected. We are surprised and delighted that our Gold Award last year to Panima Barman, was the subject of a question in the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Now, this is the legendary Indian film star. Amitabh Bachchan asked the killer question. Now, 100 million viewers watch this program. It's one of the most watched programs. Now, we can probably get the right answer, but, spoiler alert, in a few minutes we are going to phone a particular friend, and we're going to make sure we do get that right answer. Okay, watch this space. So now, we weren't surprised, but we just felt immensely proud when Panima was chosen by Time magazine as one of their 12 Women of the Year this year for 2025. Now, I mean, it's a staggering achievement. Panima's always upbeat, colourful, inclusive, and her work with the community shows how grassroots action spreads from local people to top government officials and is all the more powerful if it's homegrown. All our winners share with Panima the same determination to improve the world of wildlife, the world of local communities, and to bring about lasting change. Over the last 3 years, we've started facilitating regional meetings between our winners. We see this as a really exciting development. It helps them address shared questions that they all face, such as team building, succession planning, and the best scientific practice. They encourage each other, and this effectively leverages the donations that you make. And this network effect is reflected in how our donors share and communicate their experience. Because you're not only generous, but you share the stories that you hear here, and you bring along other donors. And this is a movement just as powerful as the movement of our winners. We often dwell upon how inspiring our winners are, and, of course, they truly are. But I want to finish by saying how amazing our donors are. Now, inspired and led by our fantastic patron, Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, ma'am, you always lead from the front, and you inspire our winners and our donors alike. And they're organised by our wonderful Friends Committee, which is so generously and energetically led by Catherine Folks. And so whether as private individuals, as foundations, corporations, your donors, our donors, choose us as a charity to support. And we appreciate the great pressures around at the moment. Time and again, we're stunned by the way you step in, you step up and you make such a generous contribution to fund our work. So on behalf of us all at the Whitley Fund for Nature, on behalf of all our winners, on behalf of our trustees, our ambassadors, on behalf of our WFN team, so brilliantly led by Danny and this year by Victoria. Now, of course, on behalf of all those penguins in Patagonia, those storks in India, and everything else in between that you're going to hear about tonight, thank you all so much. Kate and Tom, back to you.
Thank you so much, Edward. As Edward said, we really are at a critical moment for our natural world, and it has not been an easy year to be a conservationist. But luckily, the conservationists that you have helped support are stronger than that and are not going to give up. And tonight is all about hope for the future. To join the conversation online and help us celebrate tonight's remarkable leaders, please follow us on social media using the hashtag Whitley Awards.
Well, Kate and I have been WFN ambassadors for many years now because, quite simply, we strongly believe in what the charity is all about. The Whitley Fund for Nature supports grassroots conservation leaders working alongside local communities on effective solutions for wildlife and people. And the support that the charity provides goes well beyond just funding. This week, winners have met with donors, charity contacts, their country's ambassadors, received media and communications training, and have been interviewed by journalists to really spotlight their work.
And this evening is all about shining a spotlight too, including the films you're about to watch, made so generously by Open Planet Studios and Silverback Films, thanks to our fellow ambassador, Alistair Fothergill, and Next Gen member, Nick Gates. And on that note, we're thrilled to introduce tonight's new cohort of Whitley Award winners, who will each receive £50,000 in project funding to protect threatened wildlife and habitats in their home countries.
Well, it's time to get to the main event and start introducing these award winners that you've heard so much about. And our first Whitley Award winner this evening is Farina Osman, who is working to create safe passage through oil palm plantations in Borneo for the world's smallest elephant.
What amazed me most about elephants is their resilience. Every day is a new challenge for them, but they never give up. My mom always said that I am a stubborn girl. Once I have my mind set on something, I never give up. My name is Farina Osman, and I am the director of Seratu Atai. Seratu Atai means solidarity, which is at the heart of our mission.
2025 Whitley Award winner Farina Osman is determined to create a landscape in which humans and the elephants she loves can peacefully coexist. She works in the lower Kinabatangan, in Malaysian Borneo's northernmost state of Sabah. Here, the Kinabatangan River nourishes a biodiverse ecosystem of riverine forests and mangroves, home to many special creatures, including the rare Bornean elephant.
Every time I see them, I try to control my emotions. I keep telling them that I'm here to help you.
With 90% of the elephant's original habitat converted to oil palm plantation, only 250 elephants remain in the region. Forced to navigate fragmented pockets of forest, the elephants enter settlements and farmland, causing conflict with local communities who fear for their security and livelihoods.
If we want to reduce conflicts, we have to integrate elephants as part of the landscape. We work with the oil palm industry, with local communities to create connectivity for elephants in Kinabatangan.
Farina has worked hard to build trust with her local community, running education workshops on elephant behaviour and training honorary wildlife wardens, empowering individuals to enforce wildlife conservation laws.
I am surrounded with many conservation heroes, especially the local communities. Despite all the challenges, they are very resilient, they want to work together.
With Farina's ambition leading the way, Saratu Atai convinced the government to upgrade the Bornean elephant to a fully protected species. And vital data they've collected on elephant movement is informing habitat corridor planning. Farina now hopes to build on this work.
With the Whitley Award, we are actually trying to stop putting band-aid on the issues. We want to create safe passage for the elephants while helping the community to protect their livelihood.
Crucially, Saratu Atai are working with oil palm companies to develop elephant-friendly practices, including habitat corridors, fence installation, and safe agrochemical use.
I am super optimistic about coexistence between people and elephants.
The Lower Kinabatangan could become a model for conserving landscapes where biodiversity and local economies can thrive side by side.
Good evening, Her Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy that in the video we don't use the word pygmy elephants, because I promise you our elephants are not pygmy. You can see in the picture, that is the baby elephants and that's the mom, so that's not the pygmy elephants, yeah? All right, so I hope you enjoy the video. When I saw this video for the first time this morning, it really brings me back to all the memories that we had along the way. It's a very long journey to reach to this stage. I remember all the challenges, all the small victories that we had, the faces of elephants and people that tried to coexist together. I decided to switch from a speech I wrote a letter immediately to the elephants. And I would like to read this letter to you. Dear Bornean elephant, has anyone told you that you are a wonderful creature? You are strong yet gentle. You always blow us away with your ability to learn and the tricks you have come up with just to survive, and nothing of short amazing. We see your struggle navigating broken forests and landscapes that are shrinking. But still you walk. You walk with strength, with grace, and with resilience. We understand more now than ever that your presence is not just important, it is essential. You shape the forest. You are not just part of the ecosystem, you are the ecosystem. Dear Bornean elephant, we want to do better. We want to reimagine a future where you are not pushed out but welcome. Not a stranger in your own home, but a guardian of it. The road ahead is long and bumpy, but something is changing. Many people are opening their mind and, most importantly, their heart. Not just for Sabah, not just for Malaysia, but here too in the room today, we gather new supporters who will walk with us in this journey. My dearest Bornean elephant, keep teaching us. Teach us resilience, and in return, we promise to fight for you, for the forest, and for the people who share your home. Love from all of us. So I would like to invite each one of you, if you want to be part of this letter, you want to have your name in this letter, and you want to stand with the Bornean elephant, please come and see me. I'll get each one of you to sign the letter. But before I leave the stage, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all Saratu Atai team member who is not here with me, and everyone near and far who believe in us, support our mission, and share this hope for coexistence. Together, we're giving hope to the elephants, the forest, and for the future we share. Terima kasih, which means thank you very much.
Quite a lot of other words come to mind other than stubborn, but stubborn is a good one. Thank you, Farina, and I know the elephants will be thanking you too. Our next award goes to Andres Links, who is reconnecting brown spider monkey habitat, working with ranchers to create private protected areas in Colombia's Magdalena River Valley.
Spider monkeys are really amazing animals. They're very beautiful to watch, the way they move in the trees, but they're very important also for the dynamics of tropical forest. They are incredible seed dispersers. They eat fruits from hundreds of trees, and they are working as forest engineers and planting the forests of the future.
2025 Whitley Award winner Andres Link has spent 20 years conserving the brown spider monkey, one of the world's most endangered primates. He works in the rainforests of Colombia's Magdalena River Valley, a biodiversity hotspot.
It's a really unique case in which a very valuable biodiversity is living in a heavily degraded landscape.
The forests here have been extensively cleared for cattle ranching and farming. The remaining forest has become fragmented, limiting the monkey's ability to move to find food or new mates, and their population has declined. With no nationally protected areas in the region, Andres and his team at Fundación Proyecto Primates turned to the local community to find a solution.
At the beginning, there was not a lot of trust, but slowly we've built like a very solid relation based on the idea of conserving biodiversity, but also increasing the well-being of the local communities.
They launched citizen science programs in restoration ecology and the Brown Spider Monkey Festival, a community celebration now in its 10th year. With this local support, the project established private conservation agreements with landowners protecting more than 500 hectares of forest.
They have been very helpful and a great ally to protect the forests that are remaining, but also to reconnect them.
The team then planted the community-protected lands with native trees, creating wildlife corridors to reconnect the forest fragments. Using camera traps, they recorded how the spider monkeys soon returned, as did many other forest species. The corridors also protect water sources and provide fencing between cattle pastures, a win-win for people, primates and the entire ecosystem. With the Whitley Award, Andres will expand the community workshops, establish further agreements protecting 2,000 hectares of forest and plant new wildlife corridors.
We think that the success that we have achieved can be scaled to a national level. By working day by day on the study of spider monkeys, on developing economic alternatives with local people, is worth it and makes us really excited to be part of this very important process that needs to be done with urgency.
Her Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a great honor for me to be here, but it's also a great accomplishment for my team, a group of passionate conservationists that have been 20 years working towards the conservation of brown spider monkeys, their habitats, and the well-being of the local populations that live in the lowland forests of northern Colombia. When I was 20 years old, I had the opportunity to go for the first time to the Amazon forest, and I was completely fascinated by its magic, by its complexity. I have to say that I have been very lucky. I've been able to spend 5 years of my life in the jungle, And every single day, I can tell you, I see something I had never seen before. The first time I saw spider monkeys, I fell in love with them. I really liked how they move, they're so graceful. And I decided I wanted to study and know more about them. I started by studying their seed dispersal, as they are really forest engineers that are planting the seeds and the trees of tomorrow. But I'm also very interested in their social behavior. And I still study today adult female spider monkeys like Kune, like Pepa, that were in 2005 young mothers and today are beautiful, elegant grandmothers. Honestly. I have been also very lucky, honestly, to be able to study spider monkeys in some of the most pristine areas in the Amazon. But I also felt the responsibility with our team to work towards the conservation of those species, those populations and wildlife that is really living or struggling to survive in heavily degraded landscapes in Colombia. In 2005, we started the project trying to protect the brown spider monkey, and 3 albino spider monkeys, made us think that something was going wrong and we needed to do urgent actions to protect them and reconnect them. With the Whitley Award, we plan to expand the conservation of brown spider monkeys in Colombia. We want to protect and reconnect additional forests. We want to also empower the local community towards a sustainable livelihoods. And we are going to work very hard to something that makes us very proud, and is to continue training the conservationists of tomorrow, passionate young persons that will most probably be studying, but also protecting the daughters, granddaughters, sons, grandsons of Kune, Bachue, and all these beautiful spider monkeys. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Andres. I mean, you really picked out that grace of movement they have is absolutely extraordinary. It'd be great to be able to emulate that as a human being. And on a more sensible note, the connectivity is just so important. It's just absolutely the buzzword in environmental protection right now, especially, as you say, in degraded areas. Well, next, let's hear from Reshu Bashyal, who is addressing the poaching of wild medicinal plants in central Nepal, which she describes as the tigers of the plant world.
Nepal, a country widely celebrated for successfully protecting some of its most iconic animals. But its plants are often overlooked. 2025 Whitley Award winner Reshu Bashyal is working to change that.
My grandparents knew a lot about medicinal plants. I still remember queues of people waiting to take advices from my grandparents. I always thought plants were magical healers.
Medicinal plants have been used by people in Nepal for centuries, and their harvest still supports the livelihoods of many. But today, unsustainable international demand is stripping the forest of its healers. Reshu and her colleagues at Green Hood, Nepal, began to investigate the trade of 2 important medicinal plants, orchids and yew trees.
In one of my field trips, I saw many orchids sun-drying in a trader's house. I was shocked looking at the quantity.
Many orchids are highly valued as traditional medicines, with expanding markets in both India and China, which drives the illegal export of thousands of tons each year. Yew trees are also being stripped of their leaves to supply the demands of Western medicine to produce coveted cancer treatments. But the over-exploitation of these vulnerable plants was barely being noticed. Determined to act, Reshu started to build support to protect medicinal plants. Her team has now reached more than 1,000 stakeholders, enabling them to raise awareness and to collect vital scientific data.
I'm proud that our team documented the baseline of illegal trade of medicinal plants in Nepal. Orchids and yews face similar challenges, and most importantly, they share same habitats.
This pioneering research directed Reshu's work to the forests of Makwanpur in central Nepal, where she discovered both plants could be protected together.
My vision is to safeguard the wild habitat of yews and orchids.
With her Whitley Award, Reshu plans to restore and protect more than 1,000 hectares of forest by empowering Makwanpur's community forest groups to become medicinal plant guardians. Yew tree planting and orchid anti-poaching patrols will help the forest recover, and the legal yew trade will be scaled up by supporting nurseries, promoting sustainable harvest, and collaborating with policymakers.
In country like ours, there is a lot of potential to enhance local livelihood by the sustainable use of medicinal plants. We should care about medicinal plants because they can save us. Namaste everyone. There are moments in life when I pause and ask myself, why am I doing this? And I find myself going back to my roots, to the journey that brought me here, to this stage, a journey of hope. Plants are the guardians of our planet. Orchids with their delicate grace and yews with their ancient wisdom are more than ornaments. They are magical healers. Their roots and leaves hold cures, flowers whisper stories of survival. Their decline is a crisis often overlooked in conservation, which threatens the ecosystems and livelihoods of many. I have met community elders who have spent their lives harvesting, guarding, and living with plants. They are deeply worried, but their smiles echo the unsung stories of hope, the stories I found drawn to again and again. Today is one of those defining moments for me. I am deeply honored that the Whitley Fund for Nature has recognized our work. I am filled with gratitude and hope, a hope that our decades-long commitment to safeguarding plants and wildlife are springing into action. Though I am alone on stage today, I feel the strength of my Greenhood Nepal team. I know you guys are watching online. I'm filled with gratitude, and I want to share this award with our extended family of our partners, mentors, supporters, and all the conservation community in Nepal and everywhere. I'm beyond excited to continue my conservation journey and support others in theirs. Thank you to those who have rooted for us and for the nature herself, for reminding us that every seed of effort grows into tomorrow's forest. Let's keep planting hope together. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Reshu. Thank you. Thank you for bringing something to our attention that I think very many people weren't aware of. It's amazing work that you're doing. Now let's hear from Yara Barros, who is protecting Iguazu National Park's iconic jaguars in Brazil and helping local communities to coexist with this apex predator.
Brazil's Iguazu National Park is home to over 3,500 species, including one of the world's most iconic animals.
I absolutely love that golden eyes. Since the first time I looked at them, my soul was theirs forever.
2025 Whitley Award winner Dr. Yara Barros now leads Project Jaguars of Iguazu, expanding efforts to protect this charismatic cat.
On the 90s, there was 70 animals. And then in 2009, this number dropped to 9. So the population was almost locally extinct.
As cattle ranching and arable farming replaced their wild home, the jaguars lost their natural prey sources. And so they turned to the only food available.
Jaguars can really cause losses to people. And people are also afraid of being killed by jaguars.
And it's this fear driving the retaliation killings, decimating the jaguar population. This is where Yara and the team step in to help the farmers coexist with this endangered species.
We go immediately, even if it's in the middle of the night. One of the jaguars, she killed a pig. We were able to capture this jaguar, put a collar, translocate to another region, and this jaguar is alive because of this intervention. Jaguars just want to be jaguars. They are not in this world to kill people.
Yara's team works with those directly affected by the jaguars, following up each encounter. Since 2018, Project Jaguars of Iguazu has conducted almost 2,000 visits after predation events, educating with new management techniques and installing anti-predation equipment.
We are noticing that this is increasing people's tolerance. It's possible to coexist.
Outreach education, inspirational artwork, Brazil's first jaguar-friendly airport, and developing alternative income sources all raise awareness and reduce the fear of jaguars.
You cannot have the community as a spectator of your effort. And now we estimate around 25 animals. So it's more than double. Many people that before would shoot a jaguar, once they met them, now they will call us.
Having pioneered this work in Iguazu, with her Whitley Award, Yara is now scaling up her efforts, including training 250 people in new teams in Brazil, Argentina and Paraguay, conducting more jaguar population counts, and increasing the scope of community initiatives across Iguazu National Park.
You can change the life of people that you're working with and also the species that you target. I immensely thank all the jaguars whose golden eyes are not shining in this world anymore, but that gave us knowledge, passion, inspiration to keep going to save this species. Good evening, everyone. When I was asked as a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? By the way, stop asking kids this child, it's not nice. I would immediately answer, I want to save animals, even though I truly knew what exactly it meant. This passion led me to become a biologist, but seeing the last Spix macaw flying in the wild, the last one of his kind, turned me into a conservationist. And working side by side with that community to try to save this species taught me so much about conservation. That is not only about saving species, but also the people who share the land with them. Then in 2017, I entered a completely new world, a jaguar world. Well, I've always had love with jaguars because, jaguars. But when I stood face by face with my first jaguars, and looked at these amazing golden eyes, so powerful, but yet so vulnerable. This completely taken my heart. Croissant was the name of the first jaguar I captured. Yes, like the pastry. I didn't capture him, I used to say he captured me. And helping these amazing species survive became my passion. Jaguars, they are not only my work, they are my home, and they are my heart. Receiving this award is huge. It's a validation that my dream was worth pursuing. Turning fear into enchantment, that is what we try to do. It's a tremendous challenge. And the Whitley Award will enable me and my team to expand efforts to promote coexistence between people and jaguars, to train conservationists in 3 countries, to empower women using the jaguar as a catalyst to a sustainable source of income. In other words, this award will help us keeping this amazing golden eyes shining in our forests. I am immensely grateful to all the communities who taught me how to be a better conservationist and, to be honest, to be a better human being. I dedicate this award to my incredible team in Brazil. I love you guys. I deeply respect each and of you, and your passion and commitment to the jaguars. And I obviously thank the jaguars that completely changed my life. Thank you so very much for this award.
Thank you very much indeed, Yara. I mean, who amongst us can really say that we've realised our childhood dream in such an effective way? Astonishing. And also working with predators where there is real fear and danger. That is such impressive work to get the communities on side. Now, let's hear from Federico Cacalis, who is expanding protection for Argentina's most threatened amphibian and the wider ecosystem on Patagonia's Sumuncura Plateau.
The Sumuncura Plateau, which means rock that speaks in indigenous language, in relation to the sound of the wind when crossing the rocks, is a magical and ancestral place full of beautiful landscapes and unique animals.
This volcanic plateau in Patagonia is the focus of one of the 2025 Whitley Award winners.
My name is Federico Cacalis, and I am the president of the Fundación Sumuncura. I first visited the Sumuncura Plateau 15 years ago, and I became amazed by this place, but it was also clear to me about its fragility.
The Valcheta stream runs through the plateau. Temperatures can drop below 0, but the stream is heated by hot springs, enabling the evolution of 2 unique species.
The rincon stream frog is a microendemic. It is only found in the first kilometers of the headwaters of the Valcheta stream, home to not only the rincon stream frog, but also the naked karassin, an endangered fish that occurs here and nowhere else. And this habitat is under threat because of the introduction of invasive fishes and the impact of livestock. This species is on the edge of extinction, and we are trying to save it. That's when I decided to gather a work team to face the challenge of conserving this place and its unique animals.
Through a captive breeding and rewilding project, the number of frogs is increasing. And with more sustainable ranching and habitat restoration, the river ecosystem is starting to bounce back.
Our biggest success so far was the increase in 15% of the whole populations of the rincon stream frog and the naked karassin. Our goal is beyond saving this frog from extinction. We are looking for conserving the whole biodiversity of the Sumuncura Plateau by creating harmony between wildlife and the local people.
Conflict between local farmers and native predators is damaging the ecological balance of the plateau. But Fundación Sumuncura is helping to fix this by giving local farmers guard dogs that protect livestock and, in turn, predators like foxes and pumas.
After more than a decade working together with the local community, the people started believing in our project. In this way, we are working together in finding solutions that integrate biodiversity conservation and sustainable management.
With the Whitley Award, Federico and his team will continue to protect the area, restore more habitat, and turn the plateau into an ecotourism destination by training local guides.
Our vision is to ensure the long-term conservation of the Sumuncura Plateau. Our work depends upon the local community, we count on them to be the final guardians of the regions in the long run.
Linda.
Son chiquitas, ¿no?
Sí.
Thank you. Since I was a child, I have always been fascinated by animals, but unlike most people, I was drawn to those often seen as ugly or feared, like frogs, snakes, and lizards. My family have not always shared my interests, especially when I brought these creatures home, but they have always encouraged me to follow my passions and beliefs. And since then, conserving endangered species has been one of my main purposes in life. 15 years ago, a friend invited me on a trip to the Samuncura Plateau in Argentina and Patagonia. As anyone who has visited this part of the world, the vastness of the landscape just mesmerizes you. And here, in these faraway lands, a bunch of hot springs has given life to a small and isolated watercourse that allow the evolution of species that cannot be found anywhere else on Earth. The rincon string frog and the naked karacin. When I first discovered these extraordinary animals struggling to thrive in such extreme and remote place, I realized how fragile their existence was. That moment was a breakpoint in my life, and it became a platform where I could develop my passion for wildlife conservation. With my partner and a team of colleagues and friends, we decided to start a project to save them from extinction. But we are even more ambitious. Our challenge is to turn them into flagship species to achieve the conservation of the whole biodiversity of the Samuncura Plateau. I want to thank you to the Whitley Fund for Nature for supporting our vision for the Samuncura Plateau. This award will help us to expand our work not only to conserve these incredible animals, but also by building harmony between wildlife and the people that live in this land. I'm happy to witness how local people have grown to love, as I do, these ugly but no longer feared wonderful animals. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Federico, for helping us all fall in love with a small frog and an extraordinary fish. Finally, we have Rahayu Octaviani, who is working with communities to protect the singing, swinging Javan gibbon on one of the most densely populated islands on Earth.
In the heart of Indonesia, an ancient song.
The locals say if a Javan gibbon sings, it means they're thirsty. It's dangerous for them to go to the forest floor, so they sing to ask the sky to rain so they can drink from it. This song is more than a call. It is a connection. Once you hear it, it's impossible not to fall in love with them.
For more than 15 years, primatologist Rahayu Octaviani has studied the endangered Javan gibbon in the Gunung Halimun Salak National Park in West Java.
They are architects of their home, planting life with every step. But their world is shrinking.
The gibbons' lives depend on continuous forest canopy, but the 10% still intact is under constant threat.
Java is one of the most densely populated islands on Earth, but it holds fragmented forest pockets home to many endangered and endemic species.
Rahayu and her team are working to protect what remains.
Our long-term monitoring has provided key insight into the Javan gibbon behavior, population dynamics, and habitat use.
This work underpins a new Gibbon National Action Plan to inform conservation strategies for small apes at every level. from global to local.
A woman in the village once asked me, "Why do you spend so much time in the forest and not with the people?"
And that made Ayu rethink her whole strategy. In 2020, she founded Yara, putting communities at the heart of her approach to gibbon conservation.
When we began actively engaging, listening, building the trust, everything changed.
One of Yara's initiatives is Ambu Halimun, a women's empowerment group who use traditional knowledge of plants to produce eco-prints. Sold globally, they sustain local livelihoods and conservation efforts. To inspire the next generation, Ayu's team started a storytelling and leadership program, nurturing pride in the region's natural heritage.
With the Whitley Award, we will enhance capacity by training local communities and park staff in the biodiversity monitoring, creating a reliable data system to guide conservation.
In the next year, their program will reach 5 new priority areas where villages overlap with gibbon habitat, promoting sustainable practices and care for the region's forests and wildlife.
We are all connected. When we protect the gibbons, we protect the forest. And when we protect the forest, we protect ourselves.
Good evening, everyone. I still remember the first time I heard the Javan Gibbon song, which is during my research as an undergraduate student. That song echoed through the misty hills, haunting and really beautiful, unlike anything that I had ever heard before. And this song is like this. Whoop, 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 whoop. That moment led me deep into the forest, where I found not just the gibbon, but also my life purpose. For years, the Javan gibbon has lived in the shadows, overlooked and forgotten. Their song fading as forests disappeared, and I spent much of my time focused on the research, believing that science alone could save them. Until one day, a simple question from a villager, a mother called Ibu Yanti, and she got a small daughter. Her question made me pause and helped me realize what I had been missing. I began to understand that conservation cannot exist in isolation. It's not only about the gibbon, but also about the people who live on the edge of the forest. Through my NGO, Yara, we reshape our approach. Science became a bridge, not a boundary. We began listening more and building conservation with the community, not for them. And now, we are working towards a future where the Javan gibbon is not just a species to protect, but a shared story of pride and identity. And tonight, the Whitley Award brings the Javan gibbon story into the light. It honors our hardworking Yara team and the resilient community of Citalahap. They remind us that conservation is rooted in trust, collaboration, and hope. Thank you so much for joining us in this journey. Let the gibbon haunting song be heard, and may we never forget to answer. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ayu. I've always wanted to swing like a gibbon, and now I want to sing like one, but don't worry, I am not going to try it here. Your remark about science as a bridge, not a boundary, is something I'm going to take away from this evening. But for now, congratulations not just to Ayu, but to all our 2025 Whitley Award winners. Well, what an inspiring group of conservationists, and in every project, a real team and community effort behind their work.
Incredible. And now it's time to hand out the trophies to those winners. So please welcome on stage to present the 2025 awards, patron of the Whitley Fund for Nature, Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal.
Our first award this evening is the Whitley Award donated by the Corcoran Foundation, and the winner is Farina Osman.
The next Whitley Award is donated by the William Brake Foundation, and the winner is Andres Link.
The following award is the Whitley Award donated by Anne Rees, and the winner is Reshu Bashyal.
Our fourth award this evening is the Whitley Award donated by Inigo Insurance, and the winner is Yara Barros.
Our next award is the Whitley Award donated by the Frank Brake Charitable Trust, and the winner is Federico Cacalis.
And the sixth 2025 award is the Whitley Award donated by the Hempel Foundation, and the winner is Rahayu Octaviani.
Well, again this year, we're thrilled to be joined by one of our 2021 lockdown winners to finally present their award in person. Kini Rosler, please come up to the stage to collect the trophy. You're all so enthusiastic I didn't quite get to finish my sentence there. To collect your trophy for the 2021 Whitley Award for the work to conserve Patagonia's hooded grebe, and that award was sponsored by the Frank Brake Charitable Trust. Well done.
Well done to all our winners. Now, receiving a Whitley Award is just the start of the journey. The winners join a network of over 220 conservationists around the world who can benefit from further continuation funding grants, training opportunities, enhanced profile, and the support of a global community of peers. Now, for many, receiving a Whitley Award marks a turning point, bringing not only recognition, but a platform for long-term growth and influence. And we're thrilled this evening to be joined by one such alumni who has had quite an amazing year. We're hoping that the weather in Assam, which has been a little bit dodgy this evening, is going to allow us to welcome last year's Whitley Gold Award winner, Punima Banam, who, with any luck, will be joining us now live from Assam in India. Punima, are you there?
Hi. Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
So,
hello, everyone. Namaskar from Assam.
Punima, you have been really a shining example of the WFN journey. You won your Whitley Award in 2017. You have had a continuation funding grant, and last year you won the Whitley Gold Award and then joined a training week with other Asia-based winners in Kyrgyzstan. What is it like for a conservationist like you to be part of the Whitley network, the family, if you like?
Yes, so thank you so much, WFN, for having me here today. And I'm so thrilled, so honored, and even I can't express my reaction. So, wow. And thank you so much, Edward. And thank you so much for mentioning about time and everything about our work. Yes, now, coming back to, yes, I congratulate all the winners from bottom of my heart. And you are now going to be this amazing, incredible network of WFN alumni. And for me, this is like a living book, huge book, which is full of hope and optimism, where you can meet, you can connect, you can be inspired, and you can inspire others, all the grassroots leaders who are so passionate like you, like everyone here. And you can always learn. And for me, until I became a part of this network, and like before I received the Whitley Award, I was always isolated. I always felt myself as isolated. I work with communities here in villages in Assam, and after being a part of this alumni network and WFN family, so it's my family, and it's going to be all of your family who works, not only me, not only who supports not only us in our conservation work, but day-to-day life, like is supporting mentally and emotionally. And you can learn everyone's for me it's very important to be a part of this international connection and to learn from other their ideas and how they're solving the challenges, and also how we are working here with communities, and how we all can learn, we all can hold hands with each others, and we can make a big difference. Thank you so much.
And Panima, you've had another exciting recognition this year, as Edward mentioned earlier. You're recently named as one of the Time magazine's Women of the Year, along, I understand, with Nicole Kidman. Congratulations for that, but how does that kind of recognition actually help your work?
It was very unreal for me when I heard the news, when I got this unexpected surprise email, and then I think our life has changed forever, and that I want to share with all the Whitley Award winners here, that how the life of a conservationist can be changed after receiving the Whitley Awards. I think after receiving the Time Award, I went to Los Angeles, and I met all the other women who are the honoree of this year, and it is like a rarest phenomena in my life, and I think this is not about me, but it is for all the women, each young girl who come from the villages like me, and who dare to dream every day in their life, who break the ceiling, who break the barriers every day in their life. So I think this is the recognition of all our women, all the young girls, and also this is the recognition of our storks, our Hargila birds. I always keep talking that let's fly like Hargila. Indira always tells me like, soar like Hargila, and now I feel that we are flying like Hargila, and this is how the life of conservationists can change. And I think our community stories now in the forefront globally, and and life of our women has changed. So thank you so much. And I want to mention, last year we had more than 10,000 women. Now, after receiving Whitley Gold Award, you will be surprised now. We have more than 20,000 women in the villages who have joined to be Hargila Army. We are trying not to increase this because it's huge. And so thank you so much once again. Take care. I love you, everyone. Thank you so much.
The remarkable Panima. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
She is somebody who certainly dared to dream and turned it and her work into an extraordinary force for good. Thank you. Thank you again, Panima.
And I think we could save Time magazine a lot of trouble and just list this lot as our men and women of the next few years. That's just job done already. Right, now I believe it is time to move on to this year's Gold Award winner. As we've just heard with Panima, the Gold Award represents the pinnacle of the WFN journey, worth £100,000 in project funding and donated by the Friends of WFN. The Gold Award goes to a member who is the winner of a network of for international advocacy and conservation. Together with their team, the Gold Award winner has achieved remarkable results for wildlife and habitats. Let's see who's receiving this year's prize.
All kids have their favorite superheroes. Captain America, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. Growing up in rural Rwanda, I didn't know a lot about these superheroes because I didn't have a television. But I always wished I could fly, just like the gray-crowned cranes. They were my superhero.
Rwanda is globally famous for its efforts to protect mountain gorillas. Less well known are its 860 wetlands.
Welcome to my office.
Which is where 2025 Whitley Gold Award winner Olivier Nsengemana feels most at home.
Are you ready, Mr. Olivier?
Yes, I am very ready. A decade ago, I set up the Rwanda Wildlife Conservation Association. Back then, there were less than 300 great crowned cranes in the wild in Rwanda. They were facing huge challenges.
Prized as a symbol of wealth and longevity, they were often kept illegally as pets, while habitat loss threatened their wetland homes. They were on the verge of extinction. Olivier knew that his superhero needed help.
To save the species, we rehabilitated and released every single captive gray-crowned crane back into the wild.
Off the back of his 2018 Whitley Award, Olivier and his team mentored local community members to become conservation champions, who then began restoring their wetland habitats. Employing community members in key roles, Olivier's organisation grew rapidly. It's now one of Rwanda's biggest environmental NGOs. Meanwhile, the population of cranes has quadrupled to nearly 1,300.
Sometimes in conservation, we start with a small vision, but with each success, the vision gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
With the help of the Whitley Gold Award, Olivier and his team are expanding their international reach in Tanzania and Uganda. Their plan? To strengthen crane populations across the borders where they face increasing threats. By collaborating with governments, wildlife rangers, and local communities, he plans to roll out his conservation training program into new territories and aims to reach more than 80,000 people a year.
Our dream for the gray-crowned crane is to no longer have the endangered status.
And by protecting the cranes, Olivier and his team are also conserving their vital wetland habitats.
Wetlands are one of the most threatened ecosystems on the planet. But they reduce drought, buffer floods, improve food security, store fresh water, and support 40% of all plant and animal species. So they provide resilience for both people and nature.
As well as storing more carbon than all of the world's forests combined. Twice over.
When I started, the problem felt just too huge. But now I'm surrounded with a great team of colleagues and community conservationists. I feel I can do anything. So watch us and see what we can do in the region. The future is bright. Thank you. All kids have their favorite superheroes. Captain America,
Trust me, flying has always been a big deal for me. Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda Wildlife Conservation Association, our NGO, is 10 years old this year. What an amazing way to celebrate by receiving the Whitley Gold Award. 10 years ago, we embarked on a journey to save the gray-crowned cranes from illegal pet trade. As a young veterinarian, I had made up my mind. All I thought was, I would just find all of those cranes that are kept illegally and take them to a safe place in the national park and hope for the best. You see, back then, I didn't know everything, but something I knew I had was the love and the passion, and I will do whatever it takes to save these amazing, beautiful cranes. That's then until a great crown crane named 039 decided to step in, lead, and show us what to do. Let me tell you a little bit about 039. So the very first time I met 039, he was in someone's garden. We were making a database of all captive cranes, and every crane would get a unique number. That's how he got his name, 039. When I was there, this crane has had his feathers cut to stop him from flying. Yes, he's a boy. So when I was there, he kept jumping, and it's like he sensed I was there to help him. And from that time, I really connected with him. And I made sure he was part of the first group of crane that we took for health check. And luckily, he was clear for disease, and we took them to the national park. We put them in a rehabilitation facility, a safe place with a fence to stop predators from attacking them. And from there, 039 did not want to waste any of his freedom. He always wanted to jump, but one of the first things he did, you know what it is? He fell in love. He found a girl, 211. Very beautiful, calmer, not stubborn like him. But 039 was on a mission. One day I saw him up in the sky. He was flying and I saw this patch of missing flight feathers. And I was wondering, how is this crane in the sky? And really this gave me hope that it's working. One day I woke up on a very sad news that a colleague told me 039 is not missing. Is missing, and I thought maybe he threw over the fence and was attacked by predators. I was so sad and worried. Until the next day, a member of the community called me and said, "Hey, I see all of these cranes outside of the park, and one of them has a blue leg band." And when they sent a photo, it was 039. And I was so relieved and a little bit sad, like frustrated. Bad boy 039. How do you go to an agricultural area when I put you in the national park? So this is like 039 really trying to teach us that we great crown cranes do not only rely on protected area, we rely also on agricultural landscape, and our future rely on how you work with this community member. Something else he taught us was, you were not able to see where I go. You were notified by a local community. You need to work with others. And throughout all of that, we saw the unconditional love of members of the community who wanted to be part of our efforts to save the great crown cranes. And that's when we opened wide and we let everyone come and join us. And thanks to the first Whitley Award that we got, we were able to implement this community-led approach and really give a chance to those passionate people to join us and save the great crown cranes. So we saw people wanted to be part of conservation without any condition. And this really reassured us. You see, in the conservation, sometimes we make mistakes. We go to community, we mistakenly go with a transactional mindset. But what I've come to learn is that conservation is not about transaction. It's about a genuine partnership and understanding of communities. Community want to be part of the solution. They don't want to be the problem. So with all of this, bringing communities on board, we have seen huge success. When we started, we only had less than 300 cranes in the wild in Rwanda. But today, we have increased them to nearly 1,300. 1,000 cranes in 10 years only. So, yeah, this would have not been possible without letting communities on board be part of it and lead. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing here today is a group of individuals that you saw here on the stage who have embraced that unconditional love and really the power of working together with communities. Today, we are gathered here because we are celebrating those individuals. And we are really thankful to the Whitley Fund for Nature for superheading this approach and shining a light to the importance of locally based solutions. It is really important that we adopt homegrown solutions. You see, there are still some challenges that we face. So many funders still are afraid of supporting local conservation organizations. And instead, they will direct their funds to big, large international organizations. There is still doubt. Can we trust them? Can we believe them? The answer is yes. You can see here the success when you empower local communities and believe in them. I would really like to urge the world to change the way we think about community-led organization. I also want to encourage the removal of conditional funding. We've had some challenges where sometimes some big organization would come and say, hey, we want to give you funding, but we want you to do it this way. This is conditional funding. Please trust us and see what we can do. We have proven the value of funds, and we have shown that every single dollar, every single pound can go far and have sustainable results. So let's go back to 039. So this crane, really, I could tell you about 039 the whole night, but I want to tell you something else that he taught us. 039, we were able to catch him and put a GPS tag on his leg. This allowed us to track his movement. You know what he was doing? He traveled across the border to Tanzania. And being in Rwanda, we were limited. And this is 039 teaching us, hey, Olivia and Tim, we cranes push the boundaries. We don't know borderlines. For you to be successful, you've got to push the boundaries. You've got to work with others. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to let you know that with the Whitley Gold Award, we are strengthening a collaboration with partners in Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi to form a huge transboundary collaboration to safeguard cranes and other species that rely on that habitat. So we are so excited and are very, very thankful for the Whitley Gold Award, for supporting this initiative, for giving us the chance and trusting us. I would like to dedicate this award to my team. I know they are watching me. This is for you, for being a shareholder to this initiative. I love you guys. And this also goes to my country, Rwanda, for really supporting us and taking action to save our precious wildlife and wild spaces. I would like to finally dedicate this award to 039, the crane that has taught me all I know and that have got us to where we are today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations to Olivier and his wonderful team of who are undoubtedly conservation superheroes in themselves. And I would now like to welcome the patron of WFN, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, to give you your award. you. And now the Princess Royal will share a few words.
Every year I do this, I think that's more and more of a challenge, because following that, like practically any of the winners, it is in a way unnecessary, because they say it all. I was just contemplating their contributions. When you look at what they've achieved in their times, they've probably got pretty good at speaking in public, but not in London in English, and I'm hugely admire their ability to do that. But I think what we can all agree is that they are born communicators, and they have an astonishing ability to put the story and the facts, the figures, to make a story that utterly convinces the people they meet, however difficult that might be. And some of them, of course, have painted those pictures. And you can imagine how difficult some of those areas have been to work in, and to convince locals and those further up the chain just how important their work really is. So yes, and following on from our introductions, every year here is a shot of optimism in terms of what can be achieved, and to think about how they managed to achieve that and the conditions in which they worked. This was not an easy win. This was a lot of hard work from a lot of people, because the other thing it underlines is their leadership qualities, quite extraordinary, to engender that degree of enthusiasm with the teams that work with them, but utterly committed to that same role. I sense that we have, as they come here, I hope they enjoy the experience, they tell us their stories, we are impressed. I get to thank you as donors who supported to make it possible for them, but we have so much to learn from them as individuals and from teams and from what they have achieved in how to do things, and how to do things really well at the scale and local level, which has a huge impact, as we were just hearing, that it can spread across boundaries because it is utterly convincing and the success and the evaluation is understood. So to all of our winners, congratulations seems completely inadequate. And when we've done that, and we've given you the awards, but we are more than that. We are seriously impressed by what you have achieved. You inspire people here. You inspire people to help support not just you, but those who come after you, which is incredibly important. But you've inspired a whole lot of other people who have understood that these things are possible from small beginnings. I've recently decided that there's no good idea which can't be destroyed by scale. You actually underline that because you start at the smallest possible scales and you make it work because you understand what it is you're doing and where you're doing it. What is our responsibility in a way is to scale up and try and bottle that enthusiasm and understanding for how you approach these problems where nature is under such pressure, and to see how we can link up all of your knowledge and experience to help others make an impact in their areas. I hope that part of the success has been learning from other people's experience, for sharing that knowledge, for having the opportunity to get together. It's not an easy thing to do because you're so widely scattered, but it certainly makes our ability to understand the impact easier. But we have a lot to learn in order to be able to achieve those changes in the same way. And I hope you will inspire some people, sometimes closer to home, who might need some help in that direction. But to all of you, a huge thank you, as well as congratulations. But equally, a huge thank you to those who, over 32 years or so, have made it possible to constantly build on the experience of those individual award winners. And it's those donors who've been inspired along the way who've made it possible to grow that. It was an award and it was a sum of money, but in comparison, not a huge amount, but it has grown. And over the years, you have contributed to nearly £24 million worth of support for these award winners. Now, I think that's pretty impressive, and it shows what we can achieve when we're also inspired. This is, I hope, a symbiotic relationship because the award winners are inspired by the support they get, but we can be inspired to make sure that there are more of them in the future. Having said that, it's so much about people. Right person, right place, right team. It is important that we get that decision right, that they are properly supported for those individuals. And it will be their stories and their experience which will inspire others who are capable of doing the same thing. But I go back to my point. They are really born communicators, and it is an absolute pleasure listening to them tell their stories, part of their stories, because some of their stories could go on a bit. 039 is going to go on, because they live quite a long time apparently, so even I've got a chance to go and see them, catch up with them. But equally, I hope that inspires those of you who have supported us over the years, and those of you who are coming here as new donors, to realize that this is, it's more than just an organization. I won't use the term, the family wouldn't be quite right, but in terms of support, it is a group that really understands the contribution that has been led by our winners, and that we really do want to be part of in the future, and we see the potential going on for many years. And to our founders, and to their support, and the support that they garnered all those years ago, we do owe a debt of gratitude. But to our award winners, a huge thank you for communicating so well, and for our donors for allowing them that opportunity. And for the rest of us, we've got to up our game in communications. Thank you.
Thank you, as ever, Your Royal Highness, and congratulations again to all our 2025 winners. And thank you to all the donors here for making these awards possible and for giving us all reason to wake up tomorrow morning feeling hopeful, and optimistic. Looking ahead, we want to do all we can for our winners, of course, and stepping up support when they truly need it most. So whether by joining WFN Next Gen, which is the charity's youth arm, or by sharing your experience this evening with friends and family, please support us by spreading the word, by communicating, and bringing new audiences and new people to this wonderful organisation and the work that it supports so effectively.
And on that note, we'll be hosting WFN's next People for Planet Summit on the 8th of October in London. So mark that one in your diaries. The event will bring together a range of speakers across the sectors and past Whitley Award winners for a day all about the key issues facing our planet. And just on that, if you're thinking, what can I do? I don't have a huge amount of money. I don't want to, I'm feeling I really care about these things. Just remember that nearly all the things we've seen there, the threat comes from the expansion of farmland into wildland, whether it's into forest, into wetland, or into savanna and dry land like we saw in Argentina. So just think to yourself whether your eating, buying, or indeed investing habits are on the right side of that equation. Well, tickets for that event where you can explore some of these issues and maybe take on some of the things that I said will be on sale from this summer. And we hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, all of you, for coming this evening. After the royal party departs, please join us upstairs for our reception. But from Tom, from me, the Whitley Fund for Nature team, thank you all very much and have a very good rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you.